Hi folks, Merlin here, bringing you another Dungeons & Dragons adventure video. We're back with the last issue of our latest delivery, Delivery 5, so we're going to be taking a look at that today. As of this morning, I've also checked my Hachette and I have had a update notification saying that my latest dispatch, which is issues 19, 20, 21 and 22, has been shipped and I should be getting it within the next week or so. So let's gear up, ready for some more awesome adventures, and we'll head on into this week's issue, which is the fabulous issue 18. So, a pretty good issue. We of course have our brand new exclusive adventure. We learn the rules of running a mystery. I've had to put a few post-it notes over it as it's a kind of important. It's got information that's important to the mission, so I don't want to spoil that. We learn all about the Hermit background, which is perfect for our brand new Elven character. And we are also introduced to the different ranks of Hell. Plus we have a lovely page for the DM all about how to be the perfect villain. And I love a good villain. So this week's issue came with another set of dice, and we've got a rather premium looking blue set in a stylish tin, which is quite nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these rolling. They look quite nice. I much prefer these over the red ones. Blue certainly stands out a lot better, and things seem a little clearer as well. So before we jump over the table, don't forget to do all the usual, which is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check all my links in the video description, including the Patreon page. As of last week, we hit 500 subscribers here on YouTube. So a very big thank you to you. I'll be doing a special 500 celebratory short video very soon. And finally then, the February paint poll has given me 2 winners of 2 different Battle Sister orders. I'll be doing one for here on YouTube and one for Patreon exclusive. I'm still waiting for the final poll to end to decide how far I'm going to take these paint levels up. So far in the lead is the Parade Ready standard, so it looks like I'll be taking it all the way to the finishing levels. Right, we're not here to paint, we're here to roll dice. So let's jump over to the table and take a look at issue 18. So here we are then with issue 18. So as I said at the start of the video, this is the final issue from Delivery 5. And yeah, it doesn't give up. We have a lot of awesome information. We have a new premium set of dice, as I mentioned. They look really nice. The blue is a lot clearer than the red versions of these. But nice that we get them in a tin, so we'll get those out and give them a roll in a minute. I'll move my dice tray to one side. So we'll take a look at the front cover yet again. So we're on issue 18. We got beautiful Adventure 2 artwork there. So again, a new exclusive adventure, running mysteries in your games as well as villains. 2 pages for the DM. We got the life of a hermit, and we are also introduced to the ranks of hell and the demons that call those ranks home. Right then, let's bust the dice out and give them their first roll. So, in their little baggie, as usual, we'll just open it up and pull them out. So, beautiful tin, got the plastic cover here, which is not needed. And yeah, without the cover on, these really stand out. That blue is nice and vibrant. Even the smaller numbers I can read quite clearly, and the patterning doesn't really subtract from the detail of the value as well, which is pretty cool. So standard issue D&D Adventure tin. Nice to see no scuff marks this time round. So let's pull these out. So nice snug fit. So I'm guessing it's just the standard size foam. It's just been pushed to the max for these bigger dice. So yeah, that's definitely the standard size D4 foam, and you can see it's been pushed out to the side a bit extra for our beautiful dice. So first roll, we've got 8, 3, 5, 2, 2, 50, and 11. I think, yes, 11. Yeah, not too bad a roll, pretty average. Yeah, these dice definitely easily one of my favorite sets. I think I might even be making this my personal set. We got that beautiful D&D and they're ready for the high value. Let's see what the second roll gives us. And not bad, bit worse on some, so we've got 2 1s there. But we've got a 9 on the D12. We got 30 on the percentile dice there. We had a 3 again. Now a 4. Rolled a 6. And a 16, so that's not too bad. Pretty good. Yeah, not much I can say about these, but they are a really splendid set. And yeah, they look really good. Even at a distance, I can make out most of the numbers pretty clearly. And yeah, definitely going to be one of my favourite sets going forward. Right then, let's take a look inside the actual issue. Alright, diving into issue 18, so we are greeted with our contents page first off. So, Adventure 2, Encounter 18, Infernal Affairs, Sage Advice, 2 pages for the DM, so role-playing villains and how to run mysteries. Character creation, we continue our look at the Druid 2nd level skills, part 2 and 3, and we have a look at the background of the Hermit, perfect for our Druid Wood Elf that we had last issue. For monsters, we take a look at devils and the different levels of the 9 hells. And finally, for factions, we have a look at the City Watch. So this issue comes with a stylish set of blue dice in a tin. So yeah, they got that premium finish, which is really nice. We got the usual D&D Beyond support, customer service information, and a reminder about binders there as well. So let's take a look at how to roleplay a villain. D&D adventures are packed full of peril, usually caused by one or more villains. As DM, it's up to you to create believable baddies that your players will love to hate. So yeah, you can't have a quest to defeat the great evil without having a villain to be that great evil. And yeah, this is a nice little article, covers over how to basically roleplay your villain characters as well as their underlings. So as an example here, when running an encounter with a pack of monstrous animals such as direwolves, consider describing unique features of each one to help them as it leaps into the fray to help bring the game to life a bit more. So for one, there's one that's had its ear chewed off, one that has scars down its flank, and another with grey streaks of greying hair. This is certainly a lot more interesting, and then naming them Direwolf 1, 2, and 3. It gives your players something to visualise, and yeah, helps bring the world to life a bit more. So next up then we have the master plan. It's always good to have an ideal plan that your villain is going to try and strive towards. You want to make sure that he is, of course, the engineer of all the nefarious plots that you adventurers are forced to endure. What's his end game? It might be raising an undead army to conquer a city, or perhaps just simply, trying to resurrect a lost love, perhaps. So yeah, there's ways you can help to bring the big bad to life. So every time this shows up, there's a chance that the players might defeat them, but they will find a way of getting out of the predicament. You could also implement music. So if you've got Big Bad and you've got a nice theme song for him, you could play the theme song when he makes an appearance, which is pretty cool. Helps, again, bring it to life. You might also want to think about how the underlings also have very similar distinct features to the Big Bad. So, for instance, they are all fire wizards or use flaming weapons. They all have scaly hands and purple hooded cloaks and all sport the same facial tattoo. You also want to make it personal, so giving your Big Bad a connection to one or more of the player's characters puts the adventurers at the heart of the story. And yeah, we'll explore more on this in a future article. Finally then, we got a bit all about the different shades of grey. So there's pretty cool ways of doing it. Your character might have a more civilian aspect to them. So yeah, it might be a particular strength or weakness they have. Perhaps they like to flash their money and be the center of attention, but in their private times they are actually quite nasty. Finally, a little note about leaning on classic tropes, so don't be afraid to borrow traits or motivations from your favorite fictional baddies when role-playing your villains. They're tropes for a reason. The golden rule is to always make the villain fun for your players. Moving on then, we got a page all about running mysteries. Excuse me. So, spoiler alert, this article does discuss mysteries for the issues encounter. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I've covered those over with post-it notes, as you can see there. So we'll try to avoid as much of that information as possible. Mystery encounters give DMs a chance to play detective, but they need to see clues effectively if players are to have any chance of solving the crime. So yeah, it's always good to have a little bit of a mystery in your adventure. Perfect way to add, that extra level of complexity to your games. So yeah, when you run a mystery, you want to challenge your characters to make them feel like some of the notable famous detectives like Hercule Poirot, Jessica Fletcher, or my personal favourite, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. So, moving over the page. So, the important things to think of is, of course, the crime, what the crime is, how it's been done, etc. Persons of interest, so you don't want to necessarily have it pretty obvious to be the one key suspect. There's a good way to have multiple suspects, but only that could possibly be the prime suspect. There we go. So, of course, when it comes to committing a crime, you, of course, need the standard. You need a means, a motive, and an opportunity. So take these into consideration when you're creating your crime and your actual suspects. Finally, then, we got a page about clues. This isn't so revealing for the adventure, so it's not been covered up. So yeah, physical clues are pretty obvious. Verbal clues as well, maybe the way someone is speaking. But again, it's up to the DM to present the clues. Sometimes a player might pick up on it, sometimes they might not. So that's when you have to take your take the initiative and sometimes drip feed clue to somebody. So when I was reading this, I was thinking that perhaps they were meant to spot a corner of parchment been torn off a stolen scroll. but they don't. So when they finish interrogating the suspect turns and the piece of scroll falls to the floor for everyone to see. Yeah, pretty good article nonetheless. Right, moving on, we're continuing our look at the Druid features for second level. So nice that we're getting a little more complex classes to play. As a Druid progresses, they draw upon their connection with the animal kingdom to transform themselves into beasts. So yeah, a Druid's innate connection to the natural world is what gives them their power. So they can speak to animals and plants, whether this is by music or shared language. A second level Druid is also able to transform themselves into certain creatures. This is the power known as Wild Shape. So second level Druids can use an action to magically assume the form of a beast. They can use this twice before requiring a long or short rest to restore slots. If you're playing a Druid, you want to discuss with your DM creatures that they could possibly transform into that they've spent quite a lot of time around. So there's a few golden rules. So the beast has a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower, and it doesn't have fly or swimming speed. So sadly, that's annoying me of being able to transform into a sparrow at level 2. That's being able to transform into a bird and just flying away. Yeah. So a Druid can also stay in animal form for a number of hours equal to half their level rounded down. So for second levels, this will be a single hour. Then we got a few more bullet points here. So statistics are replaced with that of the beast, which we'll look at in a minute. When you transform, they assume the beast's hit points and hit die. As a transformed Druid can't cast spells, but their ability to speak or take actions that requires hands is limited to capabilities of that beast. Transforming doesn't break concentration on your spells, which is pretty good, or prevent you from taking actions that are part of a spell that you've already cast. You retain the benefit features of your class, and you also gain any new benefits of the creature you've transformed into. You can then choose whether your equipment will fall to the ground or merge together with you. So if you do, you want to make sure you voice your command to the group to say, pick up my gear once this battle has been achieved, or I've done this task, as I might be way ahead of you. So yeah, pretty cool. So part 3 then, Druids can use their Wild Shape feature to turn into certain beasts that they have encountered, giving them advantage in certain situations. So yeah, we got start of the article then, details a bit more about the different types of creatures that you can wild shape into, as well as benefits that doing so might give you. And then we have a list of stat blocks here. So we got a badger, a cat, a riding horse, a weasel, a wolf, or a spider there. Moving on, so we're looking at the Hermit background. So the background that's perfect for characters who prefer the quiet life. So covering over everything that it is to be a hermit. So you might find the clamour of city life too much for your sensitive ears, and you prefer the seclusion and quietness of the woods, much like myself. So yeah, think of different ways on how to play a hermit. You can play one that you want to think about the reason why they are seeking seclusion and peace, whether this is to complete something via either a cosmic mystery or a protecting others from some aspect of even their own behavior. So it's always a good idea to think what you're using your isolation for. Like I said, you could be discovering secrets of the universe. Yeah. Hermits aren't necessarily nomadic like outlanders, nor need they be religious like acolytes, but they are defined by an extended period of seclusion, however that came about. So yeah, pretty cool. Then we've got role-playing the hermit as usual. So the default mode for playing a hermit is to present them as withdrawn or reserved, speaking usually in grunts, avoiding crowds wherever possible. It's also worth noting that what discovery your hermit has made during seclusion, if any, as this might have implications to the wider narrative. Finally then, we got a box about hermit benefits, so brings you closer to the gods and their mysterious ways, as well as, of course, nature, which we've already covered. So you are proficient in religion. You also gain proficiency in medicine as well. You are studious, so you get the discovery feature. And yeah, some pretty good benefits there for being a little solitude. Moving on to our lore articles for the issue, so we're taking a look first at the devils. Meet the diabolical residents of the Nine Hells, from bearded devils to pit fiends. So we all know the different types of evil spirits in the world, in our world anyway, and in the Forgotten Realms it's no different. So there's 9 different levels of hell. Each of those is ruled by a different devil with different ranks of hierarchy. So, spawned in the 9 hells, Bartor devils are defined by lust for power, cruel pleasure at exerting that power to subjugate others, and the hatred for the weak. So yeah, moving over then, the next page we take a look at some of the classic devil tropes. So most ranks devil have 2 names, the common name as well as their descriptor or real name. So we got the different ranks of devils here. So we got Lemures, the lowest of these from the 9 hells, shapeless wretches, twisted spirits of evil mortals, which one day might become devils themselves. We have lesser devils, so rank and file of the infernal masses, known as imps, bone devils or oceloths, spined devils or spinagons, bearded devils or barbazus. This latter type forms the shock troops. Greater devils then, so these are the officer class, so horn devils or malabranks, ice devils or geligons, beautiful but terrifying erines, and above all the lordly pit fiends. Finally then we have arch devils, so these are the top dogs such as Bartor, perhaps even previous rulers as well, such as Bel or Tiamat. The hierarchy of the hells changes quite often. And finally, the top of the top, we have Asmodeus, the Archduke of Nessus, the 9th hell. So yeah, this is the guy who rules over all the evils. Then we have the layers of hell. So you have a little bit here about how to incorporate the different layers of hell into your games and how to progress through them. Most commonly, it's through the River Styx. Finally then, before our adventure, we have an article all about the City Watch. So, meet the constables of cities like Neverwinter and Waterdeep. So, big cities all up and down the Sword Coast and throughout Faerun will have their own sort of police force, and this will often be referred to as the City Watch. So, yeah, busy towns that have a lot of trade will often have these policing forces to help keep the peace. And yeah, there's many different types, and it's not restricted via race or class, so you can be pretty much anything from anywhere in the world. We also mentioned a few different patrols and other ranks there. Now we got a bit all about the watch talk. So usually members of City Watch will employ slang when they're dealing with the public. So what befalls means someone tell me what's going on here. Hold means pretty much don't move. Down arms, drop your weapons. Talk truth, answer me or tell the whole truth. And robes, this often refers to as bringing in magisters. As we see here, we got a city watchman diverting traffic around a busy street. There's ways you can enlist within the different watches. You can pretty much consider, you can even run an entire campaign where you are just members of the City Watch, where each episode will, or each encounter will feel like a episode of a cop show. So you have a particular criminal you're trying to track down, maybe lesser criminals as part of a larger gang. And yeah, you'll be given various different tasks that are rather, cop related. So like dividing traffic, etc. Finally then, for the issue, we have our encounter, so Infernal Affairs. So this is a second level balanced mission, so you can use your pre-generated characters or your own, 1 to 2 hours. So the encounter overview: cultists serving the infernal lord of the nine hells have driven a scholar from the House of Knowledge in Neverwinter to steal a scroll scribed with a devilish spell. Now the House of Knowledge is in chaos. Fortunately, the dashing bard Fiala Ashfields knows where to find brave adventurers to save the day. So your goals: complete the encounter. The party must investigate the House of Knowledge, find out who stole the scroll, then they must follow the lead, and finally confront the cultist to retrieve the stolen scroll. So yeah, beginning your encounter, the House of Knowledge and how to describe it, investigating the house, running into Maddock, confronting Zandri, the Ashmudai. Got a lovely set here, the residence of the cultists. So we got their house abode here, secret entrance down some stairs into the basement, or rather steps down into the basement. A couple of secret doors. We got a wine cellar, and of course the ritual chamber there as well. So then we got treasures, developments, the spell scroll of Infernal Calling, the Infernal Calling itself, the actual description of the spell. So you can also find a scroll of protection against fiends. We have our stat blocks next then, so we have our bard who's helping us. We've got our cultists there, the Infernal Fanatic. And finally then, if we don't do things right, they may even unleash a imp upon us. So there we have it. That was issue 18. I'll bring everything back in. I'll give you my final thoughts on this issue. So there we have it. That was issue 18 of Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer. And a rather good issue. Some nice new pages for the DM. I'm always happy to have pages for the DM. As I've mentioned before, I enjoy both leading and participating in adventures. Yeah, some great bits of information to think about when it comes to adding a certain thematic elements to your adventures, which is pretty cool. We continue our look at the Druid class, Druid class, which is pretty cool. So we get the rules on how to transform into animals, which might be pretty useful from time to time. We also learn about the background of the Hermit there and any benefits that has. Finally then, we got some nice new lore, so the City Watch and to the 9 levels of hell, which is pretty cool. All in all, we had a really good amount of information in this issue. Can't fault it on that. The stylish tin with the awesome dice, I must admit, is one of my favourite sets so far. Certainly much better, as I've mentioned, than the red set that we had previously. And it's nice that it's in a tin. Can definitely see myself using this set quite a lot, I think. But yeah. Again, at the end of the day, it is just another set of dice, even if it is a little bit more on the premium side of things. So, all in all, a rather good issue. I think a solid 4.5 out of 5 I'm going to give this one. The information definitely gives the magazine some weight and importance, and the dice are high quality and, as I said, look really good. Other than that, the only thing that's kind of still holding back the magazine as a whole is its cost. I'm really hoping we get some bulkier issues in future with some awesome gaming elements. As I've previously mentioned, I do enjoy having the visible reference of enemies, players, etc. The dice are good. I know we're getting some pretty whimsical sets coming soon. We're moving on to a new colour as well pretty soon, and we will be levelling up to level 3, which I believe is in the next set of issues. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing my usual unboxing for that when that delivery arrives, and then we'll go through each issue individually week by week, ready for the next delivery. So with that said, that's pretty much all there is to cover. Really good issue, solid dice, nice lot of information. I really can't fault it. Like I said, 4.5 out of 5. Probably would give it a 5 out of 5, but I don't want to seem prejudiced. Yeah, I'm happy to just leave it at halfway. It's kind of cool. So let me know what you think of the issue in the comment section down below. Do you think 4.5 is fair? Bit too much? Not enough? Do you think this deserves a full 5.5 stars? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you enjoy running mysteries as well in your adventures? Let me know in the comment sections again. Right, all what's left to do is say thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, keep rolling those crits.